Ladies and gentlemen, Speaker Moses Wetangula is at the verge of being summoned and being stripped of the title as the Speaker of the National Assembly due to his contempt of court and him being in violation of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. As news that are coming in, Speaker Moses Wetangula is under fire for allegedly misleading members of Parliament by doing this in Parliament. The National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula is facing renewed criticism over what some legal experts and political observers describe as a persistent misinterpretation of court rulings. His latest remarks on the High Court's decision regarding the roads maintenance levy fund has sparked a storm of concern, with some accusing him of misleading MPs and the public. Wetangula recently stated that the court's judgment was a victory for legislatures. However, legal analysts argue the ruling merely clarified the legal framework governing how the fund is managed and disbursed, without assigning political wins or losses. Critics say the Speaker comment risks distorting the judiciary's role and could set a dangerous precedent in parliamentary discourse. This controversy follows on earlier incident where Wetangula disregarded a High Court judgment that had declared the Azimio la Umoja coalition as the majority in National Assembly. His decision to uphold Kenya Kwanza's claim to the majority position led to legal and political friction, with the courts asserting their authority had been undermined. Now, observers say these recurring disputes highlight growing tension between the judiciary and parliament, particularly in how legal decisions are received and relayed by the Speaker's office. Some MPs and legal practitioners believe Wetangula's pattern of interpreting rulings through a political lens could erode public trust in the separation of powers. And I really agree with what some scholars are saying. I mean, in the Republic of Kenya, if there is a Speaker of the National Assembly that has ever been so distorted in terms of making his decision as the Speaker of the House, the man expected to be neutral in every case and everything that is brought before him, then Moses Wetangula has failed terribly in upholding the Constitution of Kenya, which requires the Speaker of the National Assembly to be a neutral party in the making of decisions that affect the people of the Republic of Kenya. And why am I saying this? Now, allow me to explain to you boldly what is happening here. Speaker Moses Wetangula is a man that is the leader of the Ford Kenya Party. Even him holding that position as the leader of Ford Kenya Party disqualifies him from continuing to hold the position that he holds as the Speaker of the National Assembly. But put that aside, he continues to continue to try and lobby support for his party, the Ford Kenya, through organizing political rallies. More so, you have seen him trying to convince the people of the western part of Kenya to register as members of Ford Kenya Party due to his current fight between him and the governor of Trans Nzoia County, George Natembeya. Apart from that, yesterday Moses Wetangula was in Machakos County on a development tour where he was called as a politician to support the function of President William Ruto. And I dare tell you, Speaker Moses Wetangula is a man that has proven beyond reasonable doubt he is one of the most, let me say, he is one of the corrupted speakers, one of the most corrupted speakers that has ever graced the National Assembly. And these, you will allow me to interpret it according to the recent rulings. You know, the disbursement of the roads levy fund, the money, President William Ruto requested it to be channeled back to the national government, that the national government will maintain the roads. That shouldn't be the work of the county government, which is something that Raila Amolo Odinga has disagreed with William Ruto, where Raila Amolo Odinga has been lobbying for the a road levy maintenance fund to be channeled to the counties through the Devolution Act. But now, after this case was taken to the High Court of Kenya, the High Court of Kenya ruled in a neutral way. But Speaker Moses Wetangula interpreted the law and the ruling by the High Court to befit the notion of President William Ruto, who is his boss, because we all know that Speaker Moses Wetangula is the puppet of President William Ruto. Now, why is Speaker Moses Wetangula trying so much to misinterpret the law? He is interpreting the law in a way that befits what? In the way that befits him and befits his boss. Remember, when the High Court of Kenya ruled that Azimio la Umoja were the majority in parliament, Moses Wetangula did away with that ruling and brushed off the court's ruling and, disregarded everything that the judiciary stood for, which sent out a clear picture that he, Wetangula, is a man in violation of the law and the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, which from that moment alone disqualified him from continuing to hold the position as the Speaker of National Assembly. But this is the thing. Raila Amolo Odinga, after entering into the government through the broad-based agreement, he has William Ruto by the neck. And if Raila Amolo Odinga has William Ruto by the neck, that means William Ruto's attention mostly is to concentrate on how to justify and make Raila Amolo Odinga happy, leaving out people like Wetangula and Akina Musalia Mudavadi, who have stood with William Ruto for a very long time, since the year 2022. So to try and gain the attention of William Ruto, Moses Wetangula is doing everything in his power to please his boss. And that includes disregarding the law. According to the intel that we are receiving, some scholars have come together to file a petition at the High Court of Kenya to seek the removal of Speaker Moses Wetangula as the Speaker of the National Assembly, because due to his current rulings, the man disqualifies himself from continuing to hold the position that he holds as the Speaker of National Assembly, because you can't continue being the Speaker while you are in violation and in contempt of court. High Court inasema hivi na wewe unasema hivi. When we speak about this, it's the same way. I remind you of how the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, Martha Koome, reacted to Rigathi Gachagua saying that he will vie for president even though he was impeached, because his case has not yet been determined and it hasn't finished all legal proceedings. Martha Koome said Rigathi Gachagua still remains impeached and he should not interpret the law to befit his circumstances. Now, if you look at what Moses Wetangula has been doing all along, he has been interpreting the law to befit the circumstances that benefit the president and benefit the parliament that he and the other MPs who are puppets of President William Ruto feel is what they should do. But in real sense, if they were to be neutral, they should follow the law to the letter. They should listen to the ruling of the High Court. And I dare say, the reason why the 2010 Constitution gave the Supreme Court and the Judiciary the power to make, to challenge the executive and the parliament is because they knew the people and the scholars that created our 2010 Constitution knew of how selfish the executive can be and how selfish the parliamentarians can be. So to keep the parliament and the executive in order, they gave the Supreme Court the powers to regulate the parliament and the executive. But it seems the executive and the parliament have come together to try and undermine the judiciary. So for we to get back into normalcy, the executive must follow the rules and adhere to the Constitution. Same thing to the parliament. And if they don't do that, then there is no need of her singing about the 2010 Constitution, because even the president, he goes ahead to interpret the law in a matter that befits him, not in a matter in a manner that follows the constitution. You know, I think it's high time. Remember, when the 2010 constitution was passed, there was supposed to be a referendum after 10 years. That means in 2020, we were supposed to have a referendum. We were supposed to review the 2010 constitution in 2020, so that we will see the clauses that deserve to be changed, so that we will put what? Our constitution on the test, because it had served us for 10 years. But we haven't done that. And that is why these people continues to violate the constitution. And Wetangula, he should be out like yesterday. For now, that's what's up. Tell me what you think about this. Leave a comment in the comment section. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.